14 and 15.
They attended schools like Ocala Middle in San Jose.
Quickly, look at the counselor's office, located on the map. Is it on the map?
Yes.
Yes, it's way at the bottom.
It looked to me as if some of the kids didn't have a clue as to what was going on, didn't understand enough English to know what you were talking about.
And they don't. Some of them have only been here 2 weeks. Some of them have been here 2 months. And some of them come from rural areas where it's totally different than what they're encountering here in an inner city school.
A teacher.
A teacher.
A workbook.
A workbook.
A textbook.
A textbook.
Not only is it a challenge, but sometimes it's frustrating because you have kids that are all different levels. And to address each one is very difficult to do.
I have visited. I
have visited Mexico.
I don't think any governmental entity in the history of this nation was ever faced with as complex a social challenge as the public schools of California, saying, absorb the peoples of the world, bring them into your classroom, deal with the 60 to 70 languages, and somehow meld that together into a workable classroom. That is an extraordinary challenge which the public schools of California accepted.
6 puntos que por 36. 36 dividido por 3.
I rely on my students that are bilingual, truly bilingual, to translate the information from English into Spanish. I really encourage the Spanish-only speakers to do all their work in Spanish.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. She came from Mexico, and so I was translating in Spanish to her, helping her how to do her work. I want to help her get, good grades, because if I was from Mexico and I didn't know English, I would want her to help me do the same for me.
Do they learn science?
Do they learn science? I think they learn science concepts, yes. At the level that they should, no, they don't follow along at the same level as other students.
Just remind the whole class what character is. Yes, Giuseppe.
Language is not the only obstacle. Many students at Ocala face challenges outside of school.
I was appalled one time I made a home visit. This family invited me over for dinner, and they were living in a studio apartment, 7 people in one studio apartment. So to think that they're gonna have their homework done, sometimes you have to be a little flexible.
The strains on the schools are much greater than they were 40 years ago. Kids coming with weaker home support, less command of English, particularly, more poverty, more single-parent families, none of which is always individually disability, but collectively it has obviously made an impact.
After the challenges and failures of the 1980s and 90s, California is changing. Today, all students are expected to know more, and there's more accountability. California hit bottom in 1994. Today, it ranks 9th from the bottom.
There's a long way to go, but is the trend line still going down, or is it stuck at the bottom, or is it beginning to tilt up? And what I see is we're tending up, and there's sort of a slow growth that will take place. It'll take many years to put back, if we ever do, what we had, say, in the middle 60s. So we're probably off the bottom and moving up.
Back in San Pablo, crumbling facilities are still a major problem for Harriet McLean. Her district recently passed a school construction bond, but only after 2/3 of voters had approved it, as required by Proposition 13. That law continues to make money the central issue in the state. Until funds arrive at Helms next year, repairs will have to wait.
Over one of the breaks, we got tagged so badly, graffiti everywhere. And I was talking to a girl, and I said, look at this, look how badly it looks. I said, it looks like a ghetto here. And she said, well, it is a ghetto. California has 1,000 school districts.
not all of them are struggling. Just 15 miles from San Pablo is the town of Orinda, where the public schools look different.
This we call our actually multimedia center.